Hello, hello. It is time for another chat about Samba. Guys, today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about forming habits and how that can help you when you're learning or improving with your Samba. What I've found with my years and years and years of teaching is that especially with Samba anyway, there is layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of Samba technique. It's not just, it's not just a couple of things that all work together. It's a lot of things that all work together. There's so many things to think about just with your feet and your knees and your hips, your posture, your arms, like everything. And it feels like you're rubbing your belly and patting your head at the same time. And the thing is that when you're learning, it's very hard to practice all of those things together at the same time because you can't focus on everything at the same time. You can only focus probably on one thing at any given point in time, so that when you start focusing on your hips, for example, you probably lose out on the arms. Then you start focusing on your arms, and maybe you start messing up what the feet are doing, and then you focus on the feet and you lose your posture, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So the thing that I really like to get across is breaking your basic step down. Break it down, break it down, break it down, break it down. And I do that for you guys anyway with all of my online courses and my studio classes and private lessons, whatever. I do all of that for you, but we can't just practice everything all at once until you feel like you can stack everything on top of each other. And most things are on autopilot. Most things are on autopilot, and then you might just really need to focus on lengthening through the arms a little bit more, or you might just need to focus on the hips. But you know that if you focus on those things, that everything else isn't going to fall apart. So where do we begin when we're forming habits? This is tricky. So what I would suggest is to separate your bottom half from your top half, simply because there is a bit of a separation there anyway. When we're dancing Samba, we like to have really strong, powerful legs, really big hips throwing around everywhere. The bottom half is going crazy, and the top half is just calm and controlled and beautiful and, almost ballerina-like on top. So there's that separation there that happens anyway. So I would say start there. That is an excellent place to start. So for the time being, you focus on what's going on the bottom half of your body, which is perfect anyway, because we don't want to rely on our arms to dance Samba. Of course, we want to have that connection there when it's needed, and we want to be able to use our arms and make our Samba bigger and more powerful and faster and all of that. But we also want to be able to dance Samba without our arms, so that we can change what we're doing and we can make things look different. Yeah, it's not always necessary to dance our basic step with our arms. So start bottom half and practice that. Then we move on to our top half and we focus on the top half. While you're focusing on what the arms are doing, you can move your legs in certain ways as well that is going to help you connect the top half and the bottom half without going full Samba legs, right? So that's there too. So we just need to create some habits, right? So we need to create habits with lengthen the arms. We need to create a habit of holding our posture correctly. We need to create a habit with turning stomach muscles on. If you're not using your stomach muscles while you're dancing Samba, you're missing out. You're missing out on the power and the energy that turning those stomach muscles on brings, and you're missing out on the balance that provides, and you're missing out on the support that it provides for your lower back. The only way you can support your lower back whilst dancing Samba is by activating through your core. So we form those habits. Sometimes we need to make some sacrifices in order to form those habits. So like I'm saying, we maybe need to sacrifice using our arms so we can form a habit with holding the core while we're moving the legs. Sometimes we sacrifice the legs so we can practice the arms and our posture so we can form that habit to create really beautiful technique on the top. And then once you really feel like you have that nailed and it's all working nicely separately, then we bring it back together again. And again, I have tons and tons of drills and things that help you to connect your arms and your legs together. And we bring those together. We have formed habits, good habits with our bottom half. We've formed good habits with our top half. And now we're putting them all together and we're bringing that in and we're creating a really beautiful samba. Then the next sacrifice we make is speed. So of course, you know this, when we're learning, we always sacrifice speed because we need to lay down beautiful foundations before we go any further, right? So we sacrifice our speed and we go nice and slow, putting the arms and the legs together. When we are talking about sacrificing speed to connect to the top half and the bottom half, that's fine. You can still practice speed with your bottom half. That doesn't mean you have to sacrifice speed completely. You can just sacrifice that so that you can connect the top half and the bottom half. And then as that feels more comfortable and we start to form more habits, obviously, we start getting faster and faster and faster. This same principle applies when we're dancing freestyle, for example. You can't just, you can, of course you can, just turn the music on and just start dancing. That's absolutely fine. But if you're wanting to create more with your freestyling, you make sacrifices. Again, we go and we sacrifice the speed so that we can think while we're dancing, or we sacrifice fancy movements for things we know, things we can already do without thinking about them too much, so that we can create and form habits around joining the movements together. So there's a handful of ways of joining movements together, and once you've got them down, they're down. It's a habit that is formed and it's easy and it's simple. But sometimes when we're trying to form a habit like that, we need to put something aside and say, this can wait until later. This can wait until later until I have bridged that gap between those steps. Right? So we make those kinds of sacrifices. We can also make sacrifices in freestyling when perhaps we are not performing enough. Maybe we're not doing enough with our face or even the entire top half of the body. That can be something that people struggle with a lot, is keeping the whole top half of the body engaged and connected and the face engaged and the performance happening, right? So not a huge concern for most people if they're just freestyling around their living room or freestyling in a class setting. That's totally fine. That's all you. But if you're hoping to potentially compete or perform or go and do a parade or something like that, then you're definitely going to want to have some kind of performance skill. So when we're finding those performance skills and we're practicing them and we're forming habits again, forming habits in using the face while we're dancing and forming habits in using the arms while we're dancing, we need to push some things aside. For example, really fancy movements and things that you have to think about again. So we'll go down that road again. If there's anything you have to think about, push it aside. Use a simple, maybe 4 or 5 movements that you don't have to think about, that you can focus all of your attention on your face or on the top half of your body and really make all of that stuff happen. And then once you feel comfortable doing that, then we start to add in more movements and create a more interesting freestyle. But here's a controversial kind of thing to say. It isn't really. It just is what it is. When you're freestyling and you're dancing, you're doing all this crazy stuff, you're doing all this amazing things, and everyone's like, whoa, look at what she's doing. It becomes pretty boring pretty quickly if you don't have any performance with that. Yeah. So for me personally, I would prefer to watch someone who has a limited repertoire of movements, but they are giving me face, and involving me in their performance and engaging me, and really enjoying the performance themselves, enjoying the movements and the entire experience, just being there and being with it. I would much rather watch someone doing that than watch someone with, almost a blank face doing all these crazy movements. So I often like to start you guys there. I often like to pull it way back, pull it all the way back, strip it back to simple movements, and then we add in the confidence, and we add in the face, and then we start stacking from there. Yeah? So we just, from the bottom, stack with your Samba basic technique and with your freestyling. We stack it all on the way up, and then eventually we've formed enough good habits that we don't have to think about these things anymore, and they just happen for us. The arms, they just happen because we've practiced in a way that has been clear and concise about what we need to do with our arms. We practice our face in a way that has formed those habits so that we don't need to think too much about, the performance quality. And we practice joining steps so that our freestyle moves smoothly through whatever it is. We've done the hard stuff, we've made the sacrifices, we've formed to the habits, and now it's perfect. So in saying that, it's all good to say that, but if you're not really sure how to separate those things out to form those habits, then that's why you come in and you see someone like me who has been doing it for many years and has worked with many women to make this happen. Come in and see me, and I will show you the way. I'll show you exactly what to do and exactly how to get there, and exactly what to sacrifice in order to form those habits. So guys, if you have any questions about any of that, then definitely hit me up. I offer free discovery calls, so that's a one-on-one chat with me. It's 30 minutes, so we get a good block of time to have a good chat about where you have been and where you are going and how I can help you with that. And you will find the link for that either in my bio or in the comments section on my website, wherever you're watching this. Book one of those in. Obligation free. I'm not going to make you sign up to anything. I'm just suggesting how I can help you achieve your goals. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little chat. Hopefully it helped you in some way or another. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to DM me or even just ask me in the comments section if it's something that you think might help others as well. I'm more than happy to answer the questions so that everyone can see them. And hopefully I'll be working with you soon. Otherwise, if not, just keep posted and keep enjoying this free content that I keep giving out. Chat to you next time. Take care. Bye.